A paranoid Nicky, hiding from the mob boss he has stolen money from, certain that he will be the target of a hitman, calls his friend Mikey for help. As Mikey calms down Nicky and supports him through the night from location to location, they are trailed by an inefficient hitman, arriving at each location too late. As the dysfunctional friends confront Nicky's unconventional circumstances, they are also made to acknowledge the bitterness, betrayals, and worth of their friendship. Will Nicky, or their friendship, survive the night? This is Elaine May's crime drama Mikey and Nicky, starring John Cassavetes as Nicky and Peter Falk as Mikey. A financial flop during its initial release, Mikey and Nicky is now considered one of Elaine May's best films. Elaine May's thoughtful direction and writing allows the characters to come to life with authenticity, each line of dialogue holding meaningful subtext, and each chaotic action feeling believable and genuine. With the erratic performance from John Cassavetes and the stern facade of Peter Falk, their chemistry, as well as their arguments, physical fights and regrets, truly sparkle. It feels like there is plenty of history between these two characters that effectively lures the audience in towards their dysfunctions, resentments and anxieties. The central performances from John Cassavetes, an influential filmmaker in his own right, known for gaining phenomenal performances from his own actors, and Peter Falk, a frequent collaborator of John Cassavetes, feel like a roller coaster of emotions: doubt, paranoia, humour, remorse, anger and guilt. While Mikey and Nicky is a drama, it's difficult to deny the sharp bursts of humour that comes through the film's performances. Cassavetes' natural charisma cuts through tension so effortlessly that the humour is almost unexpected. As Nicky lights a cigarette on the bus, another passenger prompts him to not smoke on the bus, and that she'll tell the bus driver. Nicky retorts, "I'll tell your mother." In the cemetery, as Nicky gets a sudden urge to visit his mother's grave at 1 in the morning, he begins to shout "Ma!" as if she were able to respond back. These remarks inject a sharp, unexpected humour into the film, a brand of humour that feels distinct to Elaine May's writing and directing style, which feels believable for someone such as Nicky, chaotic, troublesome and problematic, which is made all the more effective with Cassavetes' own comic timing. He's acting like a complete jackass, but you'd surely have to be some kind of jackass to steal money from a mob boss, right? Peter Falk's performance is more grounded, presented initially as responsible and sensible, attempting to rationalise away Nicky's paranoia, a paranoia that would later be confirmed to be not entirely unnecessary. As Nicky tells Mikey to leave the hotel wearing Nicky's jacket, Mikey reluctantly accepts, but his attempts to rationalise the ridiculousness of the situation seems too persistently reluctant. Mikey is hiding something from Nicky. Mikey is hiding a truth which will confirm Nicky's suspicions. Mikey's reluctances reveal a subtextual depth, that he is stuck between a rock and a hard place. He must lure Nicky out of hiding for his mob boss, Resnick, so that Nicky can be killed effectively, but due to their childhood history, growing up together, he also wishes to reconnect with Nicky. Peter Falk's performance effectively captures this inner conflict, with his attempts to distance himself from Nicky, possibly to make it somewhat easier for when Nicky is eventually killed, as well as the moments of genuine friendship they share in catching up together, as seen in more casual scenes such as the bar when Mikey and Nicky reconnect over how their children and relationships are, or during the cemetery when they both reflect on how everyone they knew during childhood is now dead. Whether they are dead due to old age or due to falling on the bad side of the mob is not clarified, leaving the subtext of both personal scenes to linger with the audience. The subtext of Mikey and Nicky reveals a wealth of depth, the weight of history carried within every word. These are characters who don't always say the entirety of what's on their mind, leaving their anxieties unsaid, their concerns and regrets lingering long after they have stopped speaking. For example, Mikey tells Nicky the story of Mikey's brother who died 10 years old from scarlet fever, and that the watch Mikey wears was originally his father's, who gave it to Mikey's dying younger brother. Mikey holds the perspective that he was his father's favourite son, but that the father felt inclined to give the dying son the watch simply because he was dying. He would later give the watch to Mikey after his son had died. However, how reliable is this story? Does Mikey truly believe that he was his father's favourite son, or has he become dependent on telling this story to himself to convince him that he was the favourite? Does convincing oneself of being the favourite son therefore make the loss of a younger brother more tolerable? While a viewer can take Mikey at his word if they feel so inclined, the film itself encourages the audience to do the exact opposite of taking Mikey at his word when it is revealed that Mikey is in collaboration with Resnick and the hitman in their goal to kill Nicky, while Mikey is clearly internally torn, reluctant to have his friend killed, which is demonstrated in Mikey's irritability with the hitman as they drive around seeking Nicky in the streets. He isn't necessarily a character who can be taken on his word. The subtext of what Mikey says, or specifically doesn't say, speaks volumes. When the tragic ending inevitably unfurls, Nicky banging on the front door of Mikey's home to be let inside, hours after a heated argument and fight, only to be told by Mikey's wife Annie that he isn't home, when he clearly is, leading to Nicky being shot as the hitman drives by. We are left with Mikey's facial expression. His face tells all. He has achieved his goal, but at what cost? The loss of a good, albeit troublesome friend, caused by Mikey's own assistance and sabotage, demonstrates a betrayal. Nicky's paranoia, while overwhelming and initially suspicious, came to settle and trust Mikey, and Mikey betrayed Nicky at his most vulnerable. The cost of losing friendship for Mikey is that he must live with the actions he has committed, and the consequences they may spawn. While Mikey and Nicky ends on Mikey's facial expression, the subtext held in his expression truly tells all. In conclusion, Mikey and Nicky demonstrates Elaine May's brilliance in writing detailed characters, directing authentic performances from her actors, utilising a mixture of drama, humour and subtextual meaning that cements Elaine May as one of the underrated geniuses of dramatic comedy. Mikey and Nicky lingers long after it has finished, the barbed remarks and the expressions always memorable due to the weight of meaning within every inch of the film. For those fascinated by in-depth characterization, Mikey and Nicky is essential. A special thank you to my super Patreon supporters Gil, Constantine Bombelli and Victoria.